Welcome to my presentation about two-dimensional digital animation. Let's get started. I will talk about what is animation, about FPS, keyframes, layers, the differences between AMV, PMV and animatics, emergence and development, who is working with 2D animation, some programs you can use for it, what MAPs are, and I will show some animations that I made myself. So, what is animation? It comes from the Latin word animare, that means bring to life. It's multiple pictures behind each other where you can see a movement. These pictures are called frames. The human eye can see smooth movement at least 24 FPS. But what are these FPS? These are frames per second. How many pictures you see in 1 second. And as I already said, the human eye can see a movement at least 24 FPS. What are keyframes? It's like a storyboard where you see the perspectives and how it will look afterwards. If it will look good, it has low FPS, you will add frames in between later. Layers. You can imagine them like multiple sheets over each other, like on one is the background, one the storyboard, animation, shading, and the extra effects. And when you don't need one, you can lower the opacity to 0, like the storyboard. You don't want to see that in the final product, so you make it invisible. AMV, PMV, and animatics. So here I have a little picture. The tail of the dragon is AMV. It's frame by frame. I've drawn it in every frame new. That's AMV, animated music video. PMV is picture music videos. Either a still standing frame or tweening, like you see the head and the wings going up and down. I haven't drawn them new every time. Animatic. That's a storyboard styled animation, and sometimes it's colored, but not all the time. Emergence and development of 2D animation. In 1940, between 1940 and 1950, people like John Whitney experimented with computer graphics, and then 1960 the graphics became better, but the computers were just used for research purposes like science or doctors. But between 1970 and 1980, two-dimensional animation became public and people used it. They worked with it. They made movies with it. Like Disney used 2D animation for making their old Lion King movies and all these princess movies. And DreamWorks made Spirit with it, where you can see a frame at the right side of the picture. But 2D animation is these days mostly replaced by 3D animation. Some programs you can use for animation. When you want to do it, what could you use? You could use like every drawing program, but it would be very hard to export all the frames. And yeah, so there are some proper animation programs. There are a lot with different features. To count a few, there are Flipperclip, Toon Boom, Procreate, Fire Alpaca, Adobe Animate, Flash, and some of them cost money, some don't. They all have different features, and some of them aren't actual animating programs, but you can use them easier than like Paint. There are also tweening programs, like CuteCut uses layers to tween. You have a picture and then you move it, and the computer calculates the frames in between. And there's also programs like Dolby Surround where you rig it, like you have the arm of your picture and then you add bones in it and then you move the bones, and that's also how 3D animation works. You can also use some 3D programs for 2D animation. MAPs are multiple animator projects. When you think a song fits with that theme, you can make an MAP about it. You're the host. You give someone a part of an audio to animate, and they will do it and send it back to you. It's mostly music videos, PMV or AMV, and it will upload it on video platforms like YouTube. In the background, you can see a famous multiple animator project by Winged Wolf. Now I will show you some animations that I made myself. Down there is one that I made for a collab, and up there is a animation I made for an outro contest for someone on YouTube, and the last one is a gift for a friend. Yeah, that was my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. Do you have any questions?
I'm in town for an hour now.